this program called Young Chautauqua that's totally out of school. But in January, you pick a character to represent and study, and basically you spend like half of the year on it, and in June there's something called the Big Tent, where you just pretend to be them, and you just tell stories and have a good time and stuff, and then people ask questions. And I am doing Nikola Tesla.
All right. Yeah. All right. My favorite character. My favorite.
When I was born, there was a great thunderstorm going on. When I was finally born, the midwife said, "Your child is now a child of the storm." My mother responded by saying, "No, she is a child of the light." Later in my life, around 6 or 7, I was petting the cat of the house, and suddenly it shocked me. I started asking about that to my mother and father, and I got a few of the right answers, and pretty soon I was well intrigued into the study of electricity. When I was in college, I wasn't just learning in college. I was also doing experiments and making minor inventions in my small apartment room. One day, I invented this earthquake machine by figuring out the exact frequency of the earth. When I activated it, everything started shaking, and it nearly destroyed my apartment building.
Yes, it did.
I think I got kicked out about a week later. When I came over to America and met Thomas Edison, I showed him my AC, or alternating current project.
That didn't work.
Thomas Edison had invented DC, or direct current. These two currents started the so-called War of the Currents. DC had a positive or negative charge, and this resulted in very thick cables, high electrocution standards, and it could only go about 1 mile without having a substation built. Well, AC switched about 60 times per second between a positive and negative charge. This resulted in small wires, very little electrocutions, and it could spread hundreds of miles without a substation being built. But Thomas Edison would not go without a fight. His whole monopoly was built on top of direct current. He claimed that alternating current wasn't safe for home usage, which of course it was, and he went as far as to electrocute live animals, including a circus elephant, in public. Eventually, the demands of the people went in, and AC won the War of the Currents. Another incident that happened with Thomas Edison was that he promised me that if I built a better motor, he would pay me much more money than I could probably imagine getting from a small invention like this. I automatically started working on this new project, and I finished it pretty quickly. I went over to Thomas Edison to claim my prize, and he claimed that it was just a joke, and I didn't understand the American way of humor. I had quit being with Thomas Edison, I had this nervous breakdown, or so the doctors called it. In this nervous breakdown, I had very acute hearing. I could hear a clock ticking from 3 rooms away. Oh, another thing that happened in this so-called nervous breakdown was that I would get a sharp pain in my forehead whenever I went into the sun, as if the sunlight were punching me. My friend Anita Sigzetti immediately came over from Austro-Croatia and told me that I needed to exercise more often. And the next thing you know, I was taking daily walks with Sigzetti around the town of Manhattan. One time in these walks, I was reading Goethe's Faust. The weather reminded me of the passage. In mid-sentence, I immediately thought of something. A new AC motor. I immediately drew my plans on the sand and went home and went to my private laboratory and started working on this new project.
Are you done? Do you want to accept any questions?
Good job, Paul.